and I really want to take a closer look at a couple of things, right? We've been talking about training and accountability. We've been talking about how to stay consistent. We've been talking everything pretty much under the sun to really formulate a strong business model for your entity, okay? But today, I really want to focus on the current times, okay? I want to give you guys some info or some dialogue to kind of, chew on here, because we are going to talk about current times, because this is going to start becoming more and more of in question, I should say, with potential clients or consumers or potential, prospects. And that is, guess what? The interest rate, guess what? The inflation, guess what? How do we battle that in our real estate industry, right? Because I know it's going to bound to happen. You're going to start seeing a lot of news coverage, downwinding the whole inflation thing, but it's a huge factor. Inflation has not been this high in I don't know how long. The interest rate alone took a hike of 0.70, the highest hike it's taken since 1994, guys. That's the year I graduated high school, for you guys want to know. That's what I remember, 1994.
I already had a 2-year-old kid then.
Oh my God. You guys hear that? Kylie wasn't even born yet in 1994. Horrible. Make us all feel old.
Kylie, when were you born?
Good Lord. All right, moving on. So the reason why I want to talk about this is because it's going to be a constant flashcard in your face that you're going to have to deal with, guys. All right. Interest rates are steadily, like I said, they're steadily rising, they're steadily dropping down, but I think they're going to want to carry it right in the 5s for the most part. I don't see them really going down to 3s anymore anytime soon. It's going to be a long time. Okay. Now, you got millennial buyers, right? That are pretty much our highest, I would say one of the #1 buyers out there in our current market. The problem with the millennials is, they're obviously very online savvy, okay? Very online savvy. So they are going to inquire about rates, and they're going to inquire about that, but they also are the ones that don't really have a lot of out-of-pocket money expendable to buy into a house. A lot of the millennials don't have, 50, 60, 100 grand to throw down, or 30 grand to throw down to buy a house to keep that at 20% value, pay down, rather, I should say, than most people, right? And plus, they haven't been through an interest rate hike ever because they were too young. Who has? Who's been through interest rate hikes, guys? Joe's like, I have. Kay has. In general, would you say the baby boomers? Right? Baby boomers? Yeah. Somewhere around the 65 years of age or not? Would you say they've owned houses prior to, the 2000s and the 90s, maybe in the 80s, when interest rates were like at 14% or 18%? So with that intelligence, or with that information, right? These guys have been through high interest rate hike. I'm talking high interest rates, above 10.
18%.
Yeah, above 10%. Do you think they would be concerned about a 5% interest rate at this current moment? Maybe, right? If they're looking at, they used to have 3s, but I mean, to them, they've been through this. This is nothing, right? You guys want to hear something even more crazy? Baby boomers, 65 years and older, account for 81% of home ownership in this country.
I think back then it was a lot easier for them to get into a house, though, without all the additional needs and requirements.
Yeah, and you're right, Jamie. It was probably a handshake back then with bankers, right? You probably knew the banker.
Right.
It's a handshake, and you're good. Credit wasn't really a high priority as it is today.
Geez, you could be a drug dealer back then and get a house. Very
true. Very true. I would say, home ownership among older Americans basically remains very high. And check this out, this is crazy. The year after the baby boomers turned 2065, the home ownership rate among those age 65 and over peaked at 81%, guys. Now, if I'm sitting here looking at the dynamics for the future of my business, right? Who would be a target client, a preferred target client, a millennial? Or someone that wants to pretty much go and sell and buy another home, maybe downsize, maybe going into an assisted living center.
The boomers.
Boomers, right? You know, I got a buddy of mine, and this is just food for thought. Right now, we're just talking about reality stuff that's I can cuss it, but I won't. Things that are current in our market, right? Right now. The constant drag is, oh, there's no problem, there's no inventory, we got buyers. What happened in the month of July and in general for the month of July? Did you guys see an increase in business or a drop in business? A drop, right? Would you guys say that some of these buyers are like, oh shit, interest is going up, now what do I do? Has anybody had any conversation about people asking you guys about the interest rate? Yeah, Lynn has. I know I have. Everybody that sees me, they're like, hey man, what's going on with your business? I know the interest rate. What are you guys tanking? What's going on? I'm like, no. I know the interest rate's going up, but it's bound to happen. Why do you guys think the interest rate's going up?
Demand.
You want to, well, it's to calm the economy. It's overheated, so they're trying to bring it down.
So
and what happens is it can actually push us into a recession, which could be, that's the debatable thing right now. But the thing that's strange is that the employment's still going up, and that's never happened in a recession. So nobody really knows what the hell's going on.
Yeah. So in past times, what they would do to kind of curb inflation is they would increase the rate. And exactly what Brent just stated is exactly why they're doing it today. You know, the inflation's at an all-time high. The crazy part, as Brent did mention, employment is off the roof. I mean, you can get a job anywhere right now. People are hiring left and right, so there's no shortage of employment for sure. So how does all of this affect us in this business? Well, it affects us quite a bit. Right? And in order to stay above and be ahead of your competition, you got to know how to explain and have at least viable conversations with your potential prospects. This is why we're discussing this today. It is important to understand that right now the drive-in real estate can be two ways. You can look at it as a millennial base, or you can look at it as a baby boomer. Attack all of it. Attack all of it. You're going to find yourself in more opportune times when people are going to start selling that are baby boomers. They're going to be more the ones that are going to be selling their homes, you know, futurely speaking, versus a baby or a millennial. You'll find millennials selling their houses, but it's not going to, it's not going to be a huge percentage of them because they just got into their house, right? Now, let's talk about marketing and dialogue. What would be some great advertising or marketing campaigns to address those two categories, millennials and baby boomers? We're talking real time right now. We're like literally having a group session. We're all one company here. You guys are all the CEOs of your companies, but we're all collaborating right now on how to best get, the best marketing out there to hit those two criteria. What could you do?
Well, millennials, you could tell them interest rates are going to rise possibly in the future. There's lots of inventories increasing. And
so let me ask you this, Joe, and I'm kind of feeding you the answer, but would you target maybe rental properties? Because guess what? Rental rates have also increased really high because of the inflation. So rental rates have increased dramatically.
Sure, that and condos. So
yeah, absolutely. So would you say we would target maybe some rental communities, maybe get involved with the lender to work on some addresses? We talked about this before, but this is real time. I'm really hoping you guys take this for a checklist, right, of what you guys need to do, but I highly recommend you guys do this as soon as possible. I'll give you an example right now. My sister Mary, and I'm sure she doesn't mind because she just got into her new apartment, okay, with her and her daughter. They literally are paying $1,900 for a 2-bedroom apartment in O'Fallon, Missouri. $1,900.
My brother Cody is in Oakville, 1,200, but this year when they renewed their lease, they either had everybody move out or you had to agree it was a $400 jump in 1 year.
Jeez.
I see.
So here, look at Kylie's a perfect example, right? She's a baby boomer. I'm sorry, not a baby boomer, millennial. Shit, you're not that old, Kylie. Sorry. But think about it, right? You said how much?
It was 2,300 last year.
And how many bedrooms, how many baths?
2 bed, 2 bath. Including
Square footage?
1,200.
1,200 square foot, man. Paying $2,600 a month.
It's up to 27 now.
27 now.
And that doesn't include utilities.
So you're in there for $3,000
Yeah.
at least.
Sure.
You're in there for $3,000, guys. Think about it. Now, in this particular situation, if Kylie was my client and she's here she's coming in to get a consultation with me, and she is concerned about interest rates, she sees everything on the wall, right? How do you have that dialogue? And I'm not gonna call it role playing, but I'm gonna call it just a little back and forth case study here, right? What would be the best approach to that? Would it be, hey, Kylie, I understand that the rates are going up, right? But in reality, your current rent roll is also going up and you're paying, and that's money every month. You're never gonna get back.
That's what
Right.
we did with Haley.
Exactly, with Haley, right?
My client was getting a divorce and she was like, well, do I rent or do I buy? And I was like, well, rent is the same right now. And if you qualify and you have a clean record, let's go get you a house. So her mortgage on a $375,000 house is less than my rent,
Think about that, guys.
even with high interest.
$375,000 loan that her client took out is less than what Kylie pays a month. And she's got a beautiful, and I've seen the home, I mean, it's huge, a huge freaking property, guys. But think about it, right? And I'm bringing all this, and maybe this is, perhaps you guys already know this or not, but I think this is just really good digestive information to really, chew on, because this is gonna be reality here moving forward. You gotta be able to explain the realities of the benefits of renting versus buy, right? You gotta understand that apartment complexes, at least, I would say for most apartment complexes in the St. Louis metropolitan area, rents are going up. So my suggestion in this case, or my input, is figure a solution to that problem. Where do you guys need a market? Where do you guys need to get your faces in front of to attract that type of person? Maybe a marketing campaign. If you're paying $1,800 a month in rent, this is what you can be paying for a house for this much. And explain the square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, backyard, everything. And show the difference, or the economical difference, right? The economics of it, and showing that they're gonna make a better, plus they get the best part of all. What happens at the end of the year, guys? They get tax breaks, right? On that interest. They can't do tax breaks on rental, right? Am I boring you guys, or is this information that's useful? Good. I highly recommend you guys do this, guys, sooner than later. Sooner than later. A lot of the moves in apartment complexes, believe it or not, are not seasonal. It's year round. You got people the day of Christmas moving into apartments. So it's year round, guys. You guys want to look how to build up that book for fourth quarter where it technically tends to slow down? Remember, we had a stop in August or in July, a huge one. We dropped a lot in business, guys. And that's when all the rate hikes, all the propaganda, I call it, on the news, right, pushing. But if you really digest this, our real estate industry is very viable and very strong if you know how to dissect what's in front of you. And I'm very passionate about this because I can guarantee you right now, everybody outside of our agency is looking at, hey, I just got to go get another listing. I just got to get another buyer. Oh, I got to go organic leads. Sure, I got you. That's one component. You know what I'm saying? That's one component. How do you draw new business that's gonna basically be recession proof or slow proof, right? How do we do that? Let's go find the problem. Let's go get the fucking solution. Sorry. I'm just excited about this because our business owners in our agency are looking at the future of their business, and they're writing basically the mainstream economics of the United States, and you just got to understand it so you guys can explain it to your future client, who could be a millennial, who could be a baby boomer. I'm going to tell you, oh yeah, I'm not going to do that to you guys.
Why not?
A baby boomer.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not a baby boomer.
I'm an extra.
You're an Xer. But do you guys see that? We need to have two ways to market for the future of this year. Millennials, baby boomers, and Xers. I'll throw the third one in for Brett, right?
I'm gonna see when baby boomers start, because I was born.
I think
67.
it's 65, dude.
Okay, so I'm only 2 years out. I should have been a baby boomer.
So if you really think about it, guys, those are key factors of marketing where you guys need to position yourselves and be above everyone else. I'm going to tell you now a little bit about a buddy of mine, Philip Vincent, who owns Mom's House. He does a lot of virtual and coaching and speaking down here in St. Louis. He deals with nothing but baby boomers residences. You know what he does? And he's not a real estate. He doesn't go list homes. You know what he does? He goes and buys them, buys houses, and helps them segue into assisted living if needed. But that's all he does. And he gets between 60 to 100 people a month paying $13,000 or $14,000 for his class that he has there in Chesterfield Mall. People want to learn how to do it. Now, I'm not saying that's our direction. What I'm saying is, I think we have a good amount of baby boomers here that own homes, and I can assure you, if you set up a marketing campaign that states, hey, family, if you have, family members over the age of XYZ, I don't know what we'd have to figure out the verbiage so we don't, break any laws. But if we go out there and we promote that and say, hey, we are interested in helping you downsize, allow us with our professional real estate experience to help you sell that home. Maybe it's heirs, maybe somebody in heirs that has that house that the parent, they have to look out for those parents. Maybe we need to come up with that type of marketing to go out there, promote it, show it. And then guess what? You know how many assisted living centers here would love to partner with an agent? Have you guys thought about I wanted to cuss again. I had to stop. I'm going to stop myself. I'm just excited about this, guys, and I can't hold my tongue. I can guarantee you, if you would call Friendship Village, give me another one, Delmar Gardens, because they probably already have agents, but they would love to have a relationship because they have what they call open relationships with everybody. They don't have exclusive relationships with agents. They're like, hey, Kay, sure, we'd love to do business with you. Bring us a client help. We'd love it. We'll make it easy. We'll give you all the information you need about our club. Why? Because you're marketing that place for them. I would find it very hard to believe that these people would say, absolutely not. I'm sure for most of you or some of you, or maybe not all of you, but I'm sure you guys kind of have an understanding of how these assisted living centers work, right? They basically, a prospective resident would basically turn in all their financial information and their monies to these assisted living centers, guys. So where does that come into play as a real estate agent? Guess what? You sell their house. Most times out of 10, those baby boomers probably at that point either own it free and clear or have very minimal mortgage. So that money can come very much so in handy when they go into a assisted living center, guys. And it makes the approval process even simpler.
And they're usually on a waiting list. So while they're on the waiting list, you can be helped. They need to keep your house ready, because that's going to be a process for them if they've been there for a while.
Yeah.
So, it's just.
Is anybody on this call timid or concerned about going and hitting baby boomers? Because guess what? That marketing campaign is going to go to all the people that own current homes, and you can help them with everything, guys. You can literally tell them. You could even help them in getting assistance with assisted living centers for interviews or meetings, if that's the case. Or hey, simply downsize. hey, you know what? Let me look at a condo complex that's beautiful, that's nice, that you don't have to maintain any external work. The only thing is responsible to you is internal. We have to think outside the box, guys. Remember, we have to think outside the box, because if you're doing what we're talking about, you're one major leap ahead of everyone else, guys. Is there a certain limit on who you can market to and who you cannot? No, right? You can market to anybody, right? I mean, you can basically continue to do the same thing you're doing now, but just add the additional marketing. If you get one client out of it, what happens? It's a win, man.
And they tell everybody.
It's a win. Then you become, look, everybody here in St. Louis knows Jay Phillips. Jay Phillips is one of our agents. He's with Results. He's been there for a number of years now. He literally has his signature line, says senior living specialist or senior agent specialist, basically talking about seniors, baby boomers. He made himself a specialist. And I guarantee you there's probably an accreditation out there that you can probably even get. You're looking at it right now, Sean? Good. You should. And listen, I highly, hold on one second, Lynn. I highly recommend, take that in consideration, guys. I mean, if they're saying that since 2012, 81% of our home ownership are 65 and above, what are we doing? That eliminates the whole interest rate theory of, oh, it's too expensive, too high. These people were paying 13, 18, damn near almost 20% interest rate at one point in the Reagan years. I remember that. I was young as hell, but I remember that. When there was lines for gas because they ran out of gas, right?
That was in the 70s.
Early 80s.
The gas lines are in the 70s.
Oh,
That's okay.
sorry, I missed the date.
73, 74.
Or when my parents backing their cars up to each other so they could cycle the gas.
Yeah.
They're nasty.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Things got
Go
bad.
ahead, Lynn. Sorry about that. We're over here reminiscing on times when I was 3 years old or 4 years old, acting
I
like.
think
it
Sean
happened.
covered it. There is a certification that you can apply, go to class. I know that Neil has it. And he was gonna try to get out and visit some of the nursing homes and assisted living facilities. But the nursing homes are really good too, because people that are getting ready to go in there oftentimes have a house, they have a house full of stuff they need to get rid of. And that accreditation will help you get in touch with these people that handle estate sales and things like that.
Hey, by the way, does anybody, we've had a hard time, I know Kay and I have talked about this with estate salespeople. Has anybody had a good experience with an estate salesperson?
Brent, they're just so busy right now. That's the issue. There's so much work for estate sale folks.
Okay, hold on a second, Lynn. Here, we're answering our own theory right now. Like
There you
right
go.
now. Right now. Estate sales. Who does this? Why are estate sales being done?
They have to empty out.
They got to get rid of all their shit, right?
Yep.
Because why? They're going into these homes.
Right. It'd be a good person to be knowing.
Here, add this to your list. Call these estate sales. Find out what kind of estate sales they've got going on. Go visit those estate sales. Maybe drop a flyer in there. Maybe make a relationship with an estate sale person. Say, hey, if I have a property that I bring, right? I want to give it to you. You know, I want to promote you to get the job to be the estate sale. You think they're going to turn that down even they're busy? Hell no. They'll say, yeah, that's great. Just send it to me. Let's talk. Build a relationship, guys. This is a relationship business anyway. But we need to target our primary base of sales. Millennials and baby boomers and Xers. I'm not going to leave Brent out. Xers, right? Is this information useful? I'm going to ask you guys again. Can you guys put this in perspective and make something happen within the next 30 days? If you guys so far have great relationships with your lenders, guys, I guarantee you they'd be up to par for this. because you're tackling twofold. You're gonna say, I want to do a millennial card campaign, and I want to do a baby boomer campaign. Let's get after it. They have analytics in their systems that tell you where to mail and how to mail for those people that are 65 and older. Go ahead, Lynn. You're on mute.
All right. Talking about estate sales, there is some business to be had by visiting garage sales too. Because people, sometimes that's what they're doing. They're thinking about putting their house on the market. What's the first thing they need to do? Get rid of stuff. So, you know, stop in, even if you have to buy some little trinket to get them engaged, you know, then come home and put it in a box to get rid of it, Goodwill. But I've done that lots of times and it works. It does.
And I'll be honest with you, Lynn, that's such a great statement, because think about it, guys. It's a 50-50 crapshoot, right? What better odds? You go to the casino and play 50-50 sometimes, you know, hell, you got less odds in the casino, but you go to a garage sale, man, you'll find out why they're getting rid of. Sometimes they're like, we're decluttering, yeah, too much junk, but there's a motive for it. They wouldn't be doing it if the thing is in their basement, unless they're gonna either, you know, add something to their basement or perhaps move, you know, those. It's a simple question, and it's fun. You know, you're in the neighborhood.
You know, Jose, another thing is, and I think Joe is on the right track, is sponsoring a garage sale is very inexpensive to do for your neighborhood. And you get lots of engagement from your neighborhood, your people on your street, and you get to advertise that on social media for free, pretty much. Drop by with some donuts and some water in the morning of the sale, maybe a balloon for the mailbox. If anybody wants to do it, I'll help you. But Carol Camerata built a lot of her business by doing garage sales in her neighborhood.
Yeah, I think it's a phenomenal idea. We have this lady, last name Kilo, with State Farm in our neighborhood. She's like the year after year after year type of a sponsor, but she does a great job. At the end, she also has one of those big dump trucks, and whatever they don't sell, and if they leave out, these people come around the neighborhood, pick it up and throw it away, or send it to like a parish or something. I'm not sure what they do, but those little things, as Lynn said, they do not cost a lot of money, guys. But I'm going to assure you, go ahead, Joe.
I'm sorry. That's exactly what I did with your truck.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Think about it. The
I
moving
borrowed
truck's
your
there,
truck,
guys.
and then I went around the neighborhood and picked up everybody's junk, and I took it down to Goodwill. So
There you go. I love it, Joe, man. I love that.
It was really smart.
Guys, think about it. If you guys are on this call, who's on this call, I'm telling you, as long as that moving truck is not accounted for that particular day, and you guys want to do something like that, do it. Do it. There's more marketing for the agency anyway. It's driving around right now. It just sits at Concord if anybody needs it, right? There's a little fender bender. One of Jamie's client, not Jamie who's on the phone, but Jamie Winter, had an accident with the minor stuff. I mean, just the top part. We're getting it fixed, but they're just backed up on work. But for the most part, it's a brand new truck, guys. It's sitting right there, and it draws attention. It really does, you know? So these are things, guys, that I want to see you guys try to put in perspective for the next 30 days, right? Why do I say the next 30 days? You want to be able to have deals in December, don't you? Closing. Right?
Sounds like yes, please.
Yeah. So don't you guys want to have, you know, November, December closings and feel like, heck yeah, man. I mean, I didn't die. My business didn't go down the tube because everybody's gone, or I was waiting for phone calls, or I was waiting for people to call. No, man, you got to get after it now. Now is the perfect time to go hit those two the studies that we just talked about, those case studies, because those are going to continue to buy and sell year round. Rental people will want to rent a home in those months with no problem. What if you catch them before they do that and you show them the wisdom of why it's important to buy then versus rent? You guys want to do a little fun thing, maybe perhaps on your days off? I don't know if, you know, maybe hit 3 or 4 apartment complexes within your grid, your preferred grid where you like to sell, go in there and act like you want to rent. Just go in there. You know, maybe take the tour, maybe not, but just tell them you just want a pamphlet of information, or even online. You can probably do this online and do a market study, see what the rents are looking like in that area. Because I can assure you, they're expensive. I mean, expensive. When you come think about it, it's $1,900 for a 2-bedroom in St. Charles, $2,700 in Clayton. Imagine what the Central West End is. You know, over there in the Central West End right now, it's $49 a square foot of commercial space. Almost, it's more than Clayton. So the task needs to be set that way, right? Look, we've been talking since January about how are we going to function and how are we going to manage our business. And we talked about accountability. We talked about all these awesome facets of running your business. Now what I'm telling you is let's start grinding into some direction of going and getting business now, right? Let's go get it now. If you guys still need help with business plans or anything we talked in the past, feel free. But from this time forward, we need to focus on how to go get that business. What action items do we need to add to get out there and start populating our area with marketing campaigns online and on paper? Remember that, guys, online and on paper. And what I mean by paper, I mean flyering or whatever you guys want to set up there. On social media, you guys know now, shouldn't have to repeat it, but I'm going to repeat it anyway. Any social media presentations or anything you're going to put out there better be videos. Sean has been aggressively on videos. I've seen Kay aggressively on videos. This is a lady that I'm telling you, you know, I think she's a whole different woman. I don't, you know, she's like comfortable in her skin when she's on video now. And it's awesome. And you can't sit there and deny it, but how much more engagement you get with videos? You did one when you were talking about the kids with cancer. I believe that's what it is now. I don't want to mess it up, right?
Right.
Friends with kids with cancer. And I saw just when I looked live, you had 34 comments and over 80 or 100 something likes. I mean, that's the engagement you want. So remember, videos, guys, videos on Facebook, videos on Instagram, videos on TikTok, videos on Snapchat. Do videos, just do videos. And in that video, you can illustrate, right? If you're really fun and creative, you can edit it to show all the information that you need. Any questions on that theory or what we just discussed right now? Any questions on maybe how to get in front of lenders to talk about these types of scenarios? Everybody should have at least a couple of lenders that they work with now, right? That you guys can tag team with them, correct? Yeah? Okay. How about, and this is just a thought, right? Because as I'm thinking here, what about establishing a team that specializes in perhaps baby boomers or assisted living campaigns? Who would be a part of your team? Estate seller, right? Maybe a couple of places at the assisted living centers, right? Who else would you add there? And if somebody says a doctor, I'm gonna laugh.
The dumpster.
Dumpster company, a dumpster company. What else? What else is, if you guys had to put yourself in a position of an error, right? That you guys have to get this house ready for market or figure out what to do. What information would that individual need? Obviously, the real estate expert, right? We need a lender to make sure that they can, you know, if there's anything that needed to be done, whether they're downsizing or they're moving out, it'd be good to run numbers from a lender. They'll like to be in front of that campaign.
A mover.
A moving company, right?
How about a junk company to take all their junk?
Yeah, that's what Kristen mentioned earlier, like a dumpster, but I think a junk company would be best. Now, and go ahead, you were saying?
Well, I was just thinking about like financial planners, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, they have people at their fingertips all the time that are probably speaking really strongly with them about what their next steps are. Or maybe they're advising them to do whatever, so.
So check this out, guys, and I'm just thinking again, I'm just thinking out loud here. What if you had a flyer, right, and or a marketing ad that basically states, you know,
Your team.
my team. My team works for you in
I
this.
like that.
And here's all my team. Doesn't that make you more certified or more prevalent, right? Or more relevant, I should say, against your competition?
Mhm.
How cool would that be? Because now, let's say you add that accreditation. I mean, it's a class, guys, right? You add that, now you add your list of your partners, your vending partners, and you're sending it out to all these people like, oh my God, this lady's a one-stop shop. I don't gotta go anywhere. And you say, you know, we take the headache away from you or something, right? A little tag, right? We make living eternal. I use that for the funeral, just for you. We make easy living, whatever. Look, Sean, I'm gonna give you my tagline. I've given it to you before. Making city life simple.
Mm.
I love that thing. I used to love saying that. Right? We put all this together for the consumer to say, wow, man, hey, so I just need to call Kay and Kay's gonna set up all that. Absolutely. And you're the point of contact for all that. Wouldn't you want to be? Absolutely, right? You don't want them to call them individually. No, you're the point of contact. Allow me to set everything up for you, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I want to make this as seamless, as effortless, and as easy for you as possible. Washington, Missouri, I believe, has four assisted living centers out there, Jamie. If she's there.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about trying to target them since we've had this talk now.
But I'm just telling you, you're not going to run into a lot of competition, guys. I'll be straight up with you. The only competition you're going to run into are the people that perhaps within that family that are referring agents and help them sell their home. But again, if you have a full team, that also puts competition into that one solo real estate agent that helped the daughter sell or buy a house, because now you're dealing with assisted living. You're dealing with many more, components to this. Does that make sense? I'm trying to drive this in. I'm trying to drive this home because it's crucial, guys. You should be working on it. You should be trying to figure out solutions, especially you, because you live in apartments. Your baby boomers, you're a great example of Haley, or not baby boomers, damn it, millennials, right? Why do I think you're old?
Haley too?
Haley, see, I'm all. I'm sorry, guys, I'm a mess. Yes, Lynn?
So all of you should be looking in Remind if you're looking for that age group of folks. So for example, behind my house are these villas, and they typically attract people that are downsizing but not ready to go into assisted living yet. And you can go in and look at a complex, for example. It'll tell you the demographics and the income levels and things like that. That would be another place it's before they go to assisted living, to get your name and start developing that relationship.
And listen, guys, thank you, Lynn. You guys are getting a glimpse of what our next conversation is going to be for our team or our agency, our company-wide meeting, guys. You guys are ahead of the curve here, guys. Look at that as well, okay? Because we're going to talk about this again, because I really feel that this is a major opportunity that we can take advantage of collectively, right? Collectively, to be ahead and to make sure you have that business generate during first quarter. There should not be a concern of not being able to find information, because I can assure you there's information out there to lead you right where you need to be and right what you need to do. But I highly suggest it, guys. We talked a lot about baby boomers. Let's talk about millennials. Let's just intrigue that dialogue a little, right? We talked about it before we went in, but I want more in detail. When you start dealing with millennials, especially when you start targeting these rental complexes, right? Look, rental complexes is the best place to look for people that might be interested in buying homes in the future, guys. And that would make me the rental expert of that community. I would even I'm gonna take this because Kylie and I found this, and I don't know where we found this flyer, but it's a flyer about an agent. Who remembers Melissa with the Meskovich with Azur's group? You remember Melissa, right? So Melissa lives in an apartment complex, and guess what she did? She got the apartment complex to okay her doing a brunch for all the residents there. Wow. And she obviously had a lender partner and all that shit, but how cool is to get all these people together and let them know you're a real estate professional?
Hey, did you know that the millennials have overtaken the baby boomers? And so I thought it was this way, but I just looked it up. Millennials, ages 23 to 38, there's 72.1 million. Boomers, there's 71.6 million. Generation X, there's 65.2. So millennials have overtaken the boomers by 1 million some odd people, which baby boomers was the biggest generation.
Yeah. Rentals. Go out there, guys. Set up relationships. Talk to these managers, these leasing managers, man. Talk to them. I'd like to do something for your community since I work in this area, I specialize in this area. Would you be okay with me doing something here? Maybe a happy hour for your residents? I'll pay for it all. I just want people to, get to meet people. Does that make sense? What other place can you gather that many renters all at once? And look, at the end of the day, the way rental is going, rental companies are not going to care because they know no matter what, they're always going to have occupancy or people wanting to rent. There's always going to be renters, guys, just like there's always going to be buyers and there's always going to be sellers, there's always going to be renters. So, and they're under lease. So it ain't like you're going in there and stealing a client or a renter, for next month, unless they're moving out the next month, right? Where they're terming out their lease. But you won't know until you find out. Until you do stuff like this.
Well, you can feed them the leads too of the people that aren't ready to buy.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah. And a way to move into that is just say, hey, look, I get a lot of clients of mine or potential prospects that call in looking for rentals, and I want to be able to refer them to you. How can we work together collectively? That's a great foot in the door, because you know what those leasing managers get paid on? Their vacancy rates, right? Their operation rates. It's all broken down how they get bonuses. So they do not want to have vacancies in their apartment complexes. What do you guys think, guys? Questions, thoughts? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Tell me. I want to hear from you guys. Kylie's over there playing solitaire on a computer or something.
I love it. It's really got me motivated, and I really connect with the boomer generation for some reason. So I'm really excited. I've already signed up for the class, so for the designation.
Did you hear Kay? That's why you're her accountability partner. You get along with baby boomers.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I didn't mean that, Kay, but I don't think of you as a boomer, but
Well, really not.
There it is.
All right, guys. Jamie, yeah? No, Jamie. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm excited about it.
all
It's
right.
got me motivated on all of it.
Good
Love it.
meeting, Jose. Great meeting.
All right, guys. I'm glad to hear. Let's get to the box. You guys have 30 days. In 30 days, we will come back and check this round. Hopefully, if you guys have questions while you're doing it, feel free to call us, man. Feel free to text me, email me, call me. I can try to answer as much as I can for you, right? But start establishing your team. Get some research, get some homework, get some meetings in. Put them on your schedule. Make them happen, right? Let's get to it. We got to get it done in 30 days, guys.
When's the class?
Sean, when's the class? Or can you give everybody, where'd you go to find the class for the senior city accreditation?
I just went to the National Association of Realtors, and they have all the certifications there, and it's a video. You can do it on video. It's a 12-hour class, and you have up to a year to do it, but it's all online. You can do it in person, but I just looked at the online class, and it's $295 to take the class, and then it's $100 a year to keep that certification, but you're on a national website with that certification
That's awesome.
as well.
That's so worth the money, guys.
Yeah.
So worth the money. I highly recommend you guys doing that and jumping on and paying for that, man. Highly recommend it. It's so worth it. All right. All right, guys. We'll talk to you guys soon again. Let's make it
Thank
your
you,
day.
Jose.
Kill